Hello, everyone. Is Reed. I'm talking about ice cream today. Um, so basically, what ice cream uh, is ice cream is what the print function wants to be. Is the most easiest explanation I can get. Yeah, just the most simplest. Um, but the main function for ice cream is to give you its the value, it gives the expression, it gives where the expression ran, and it makes it really, really easy to understand what is happening with your code. Um, but it's used by a lot of developers over the print method for debugging, just ease of use, the fact that it's only 2 letters. Um, So it makes it very popular over the print function because of some of these reasons that I will also dive more into. But main function is basically just a glorified um, print that gives you more information, basically. But it doesn't actually it. So it just does this as extra, and we'll go down here as well. That it's like a tutorial on what values are being put into it and what values you're getting out of it. So if I change this to a 5, it would change it to a 5. It changed it to debug here because I had this right here to show that you could also change instead of it being IC vertical Y colon 20. It could just be change it to debug, but even like the basic, I, even the basic IC vertical line slash is just separating the the IC from your variable, and so it's not really needed until you start getting into more complicated stuff, like the stuff down here and all that. Um, but these are the most basic components and the most basic ways to use this. It obviously goes more in depth, but I'm just gonna stay intro right now. Um, but um, is super super easy to use over print because if you're done debugging stuff, but you don't need the ICs to be ran anymore, you just need to type out this IC disabled, and it'll disable all of the extra um, info that it gives you. And obviously, sometimes maybe you don't want that, and you're like, I need to enable it again. It enables everything at the exact same time. It saves you time by not going back and just deleting lines of code that you could accidentally delete what you don't need to delete, and you could end up making a mistake there. So it's also really easy to read, especially you just think of this as a print function basically, but it's super easy to read. It's super easy to keep track, and there's a ton of ways that people are just use it. Um, like how I use it here, like a glorified print function that is just less than half of typing print. So it'll save you time there. Um, and then you can also, as this one demonstrates, you can um, watch it it's kind of like the tutorial, but it just gives you your values. It won't give you the uh, what's the word? It won't give you the equation, but it'll give you the values that you're putting into the code, and then it'll give you the IC result because you're putting this both in. And the comma just makes it show both at once, instead of just one at a time. So if I wanted to, I could just do the ICA and then ICB, even though that is just writing one code. And it'll also bring this down a notch. And it'd be the same thing if I had 30. It'd be the same if I had 30 different numbers, and I could just do comma, comma B, and oh shoot, that's not comma B, and it just says it twice. That's one of the more popular ways of using it. So it's using it as a print function, and then we have the debugging inside of the functions, as this one shows here. So it's keeping track of what is happening during the execution here, um, which is basically what I just said here. I kind of said the same thing twice. That's on me. But it is also, I don't have the thing, I don't have an example here, but I mean, hold on. Let me let me get an example real quick. Let me type one out. Eh, People can use it in if statements. I don't have, I don't really want to write a whole bunch, so I'll just write like just a little thing right here. And so people will use these if statements to basically just keep track of what part of the loop they're in, or like how often the loop is going through, or just other different ways to use it. Um, Not different ways to use it. Other like you could also it could be it doesn't have to be an if statement loop. It could be a for loop. It could be any type of loop that people use. Um, and I kind of went more in depth on debugging more than anything at the moment. Um, Basically, just because I mean, I went more in depth with debugging because this is the first time I'm hearing about debugging. Because we never really talked about it. But debugging, it's just really, really simple. As I stated up here, it is literally just like a disable. Just you need this single line of code, and after you're done debugging, um, but it makes it easier to debug because it shows you what you're putting into it. Like if you have say you have like you're having like 200 lines of code, more than we've ever done in class, at least in intro to computer science. But say you have 200 lines of codes and you use ice cream, or like say you use print first and you accidentally put a wrong value in somewhere, and your print function is either an error or it has the wrong thing. But if you use ice cream, then in that code, it'll show you all the values that you have, and it'll be like, yo, these are the values you used. This is the result, like it's like right here, and then you're able to just find where it has that value at, because it tells you where with X and Y where the values are. And it also, so it uses, when you install it, it uses, I don't know really where it is in here, but it uses one of Python's introspection tools um called inspect. Um it's mainly inspect, but it reads the line of code basically where the ice cream appears, the ice cream function appears. It extracts the source code of that string, and it evaluates the value and prints them both together. And Here's some code that I'm going to use as a demonstration as well. So we just too lazy to type that out. um, the price, we'll say $10, and tax is 20 cents. So the total would be $2. I believe I did that wrong. Um, but I feel like this is also not the right formula for this. Um, but yes, those are the main things that ice cream is used for. I know I kind of went in circles there. Um, and I'm sorry about my voice. It, I was at a basketball game last night and kind of lost my voice, and I already had throat problems. So, thank you for joining me. I hope you guys have a good rest of y'all's days, no matter how long is left. Thank you. Thank you very much.